Uribe in the Big Apple, Colombia's president at the United Nations for the start of the General Assembly. Fighter to the end. A Colombian congresswoman's valiant battle against breast cancer. Rowdy fans. Bogota's mayor says he's had it with vandalism at the Campin Arena, and somebody's gonna pay for it. Weather emergency. Floods in Bolivar, and families forced to move because of unstable earth near Cartagena. And the Bogota Arte Conexion, helping young artists display their creations all over the city.
From RCN, Colombia's leader in news, this is RCN News in English, bringing Colombia to the world.
Our top story this Monday, Colombia's president continues his visit to the United States. Hello, I'm Samara Garcia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Andrews. Alvaro Uribe starts the new week in New York City at the United Nations 63rd General Assembly. President Uribe has meetings planned with other Latin American presidents who are in the Big Apple and with French President Nicolas Sarkozy. He will also be meeting the representatives of the United Nations Commission of Human Rights, which is critical of Colombia's record on that topic. Over the weekend, President Uribe was in Washington, where he met with U.S. President George Bush. Topping the agenda, the free trade agreement between the two countries, which is stalled out in the U.S. Congress. Democrats want to delay the vote until the Bush administration makes clear the impact this treaty will have on employment in the United States, among other issues. President Uribe says increased trade between Colombia and the U.S. and foreign investment in Colombia is exactly what his country needs to provide an alternative to drug trafficking and terrorism. Increased investment means increased jobs and more opportunity for the Colombian people to find work in legitimate fields.
She was perhaps the best-known champion of breast cancer awareness in Colombia, Sandra Ceballos, a popular member of the Colombian House of Representatives. Sunday morning, she lost her own fight with the disease. Sandra Ceballos was just 44 years old. She passed away Sunday morning. For the last 6 years, she battled breast cancer. It has been a traumatic experience, not just for me, but for my family. She was elected twice to Colombia's Congress and was described by her colleagues as sweet, kind, and always working for the benefit of others. Most recently, she was working on legislation to help poor women battling breast cancer to receive free treatment. Sandra Ceballos' friends, many of whom are in the government, expressed their sadness and sent condolences to her family. Even President Uribe paid tribute to her from Washington over the weekend by saying the Congress has lost a great political leader and himself has lost a great friend.
She was an example for life, integrity, work, love and faith. Or his friend, we all feel empty.
The Congresswoman's bill is currently up for debate. It's a disease that doesn't hurt, but when it does, it's too late. And just then, the law forces the public health to provide medicine to heal the pain. The lay representatives' body will lie in state at the Congress until midday on Tuesday, when it will be moved to the National Cathedral for a funeral ceremony.
Okay, now we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to talk about rowdy sports fans at the Campin Arena. They had the big match this weekend between Santa Fe and the Millonarios, and it looks like the fans went nuts. Now the mayor is demanding an explanation.
Exactly. Let's go to Monica Fonseca. She has the whole story.
Absolutely, Samara. Brian, nearly 900 seats on the south end of the Campin Stadium were ripped out by rowdy fans Saturday evening. Sunday morning, Mayor Samuel Moreno and the president of the Santa Fe team, Armando Farfan, went to assess the damage. The mayor condemned the vandalism at the arena and promised tough penalties for out-of-control fans, many who are usually caught on camera at the match doing something destructive. The president of the Santa Fe team says an investigation has been launched to identify the fans responsible for ripping out the chairs. Meantime, the Millonarios says they will pay for all the damage. I'm Monica Fonseca for RCN News in English. Back to you, Samara.
Thanks, Monica. Let's head up to Cartagena now, where there is a concern that rainy weather could trigger a major mudslide. More than a dozen families who live in a Cartagena neighborhood called the 9th of April are worried their homes might slide off the mountain. Authorities say the earth under their homes is unstable. There are 17 families who need to be relocated because of the mudslide. The city says it will move 7 of the families to other temporary housing in the next 2 weeks.
As the news continues, we're going to stay in the department of Bolivar. The rainy season there has caused a flood emergency. The Magdalena River has jumped its banks. The flooding happening in Jucal, Barranca Nuevo, and Barranca Viejo. It's very severe in these areas, with more than 200 homes sustaining severe water damage. People are now forced to sleep in schools, which have been set up as temporary shelters. There is also concern that the flood waters will bring contamination to the drinking water supply there. Colombia is a country filled with art. Lots of galleries and museums, sculptures and paintings in public parks, and of course the colorful street graffiti that we see on the sides of urban buildings. Well, there is a special foundation here in Bogota called the Arte Conexion. And as News and English intern Oliver de Iglesias shows us, it's helping aspiring artists find the perfect place to display their works.
Hey Brian, that's right. As you may know, here in Colombia there are a lot of difficulties, a lot of obstacles when it comes to stimulate the talent of the new artists. For example, in painting issues, there are a lot of galleries that do not accept them because of lacking of experience, curriculum, or even of contacts. But I gotta tell you that this is all about to change. I'm right here in Bogota, Arte Conexion. This is an entity, this is a foundation that has taken into account this situation, but above all that is committed in promoting new talents in the artistic field. Meet Ana Raquel. She's been painting since she was 12 years old. The art she creates is filled with color. She's always wanted to showcase her work, but had difficulty in finding a gallery to house her work.
I think that one of the difficulties that a lot of artists have to go through is that most of the time you have to know somebody in the gallery, you know, in order to get accepted into calls. I just find that it's not, I don't think it's right, you know. I mean, it just excludes a lot of people, I find, you know.
Just like Ana, there are thousands of young artists here in Colombia who have been helped by Bogota Arte Conexion, a foundation which helps aspiring young artists have their work displayed publicly.
We give the opportunity to artists for exposing if they have good quality work. Instead of excluding them, we give them access to non-conventional spaces.
The Bogota Arte Conexion brings the work of talented new artists to unconventional spaces, like schools, town squares, and public universities.
What I find that's helpful about the foundation is that they don't exclude artists. You can become a member without any previous prerequisite. I don't know, going through. You don't have to go through like a jury in order to be a part of the foundation.
Over the last 2 years, the gallery has grown. It doesn't matter if the artist has money or connections to place their work. It only matters that they have talent.
I highlight this effort because they are giving opportunities to new artists for exposing their work. This really helps to promote culture.
Colombia is rich in culture and rich in art, which is why the Bogota Arte Conexion is so important. The foundation is helping to spread the work of new talent all over the country. For RCN News in English, I'm Oliver de Iglesias.
And just like the Bogota Arte Conexion gives opportunities to young artists, we give opportunities to aspiring young reporters like our intern, Oliver de Iglesias, who brought us that report.
He did a pretty good job. Before we leave you today, we want to remind you about our Facebook fan site. Just search for RCN News in English on Facebook. We're also podcasting our newscast now on iTunes. Click on the iTunes icon on our page. It'll take you to the link so you can see me during the week, Samara on the weekends, and all of our broadcasts. That's a look at what's making news this Monday morning. From Colombia, I'm Brian Andrews.
And I'm Samara Garcia. That's RCN News in English, bringing Colombia to the world.